Welcome back. Finally we get to make a sound. Now today we're not actually going to use the entire flute, we're just going to use the head joint. So grab your head joint out and get ready to play. Now when you look at your head joint, you'll notice that your lip plate has a thicker side and a thinner side. Now the thicker side, or the fatter side, is what needs to go underneath your lip on your chin. So place your lip plate on your lip, just under. Then we want to pinch the left and right sides of our mouth. We want to make a tiny hole as if we're blowing through a straw, and then give it a blow. Lip plate, pinch. Now you'll notice that's one particular sound that we've received. Now if you've blown really hard and lots of fast air, you might have actually received this sound. Not very pretty, but it is a sound. Now, the next sound that we can do is if you put your hand flat on the end of the tube, you're going to get a much lower sound. Again, if you're blowing really hard and fast, we'll get the high note. And then the last thing I want to show you is that when you use your finger and you put it into the end of the hole, just make sure you don't completely close the hole. You need to be able to see a little bit so the air can come out. If you put your finger in the end of the pipe, you will notice that you get different sounds. So no finger, little bit. Now we can actually play a song with this. So hot cross buns, 3 notes. So what we need to do is start with our finger out, then our finger in a little way, and then in a little bit more. So perhaps go up until the first knuckle and then push it in a little bit further. And as I said, just make sure you don't completely block the hole, otherwise the air won't come out, and air doesn't come out, we get no sound. So no finger, in a little bit, in a bit further. And again. Now what I'm doing is I'm blowing air, but as I blow air, I'm actually putting my tongue to the top of my mouth and I'm dropping it down, like when you say t, 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 t. Now I'm combining that with an exhale of air, and that is how I'm creating each of those different notes. So I'm going ta, 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 then faster. Ta, 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 ta. Let's give it a go with our finger and our flute again. Completely out, little bit in, further in. Doesn't have to be perfect. All you need to make sure is that every time you blow, you get more sound than air. Now, if you're having some problems, this is actually something that can take people quite a long time to get. You can grab a water bottle half filled with water, you can put it up against your chin and you can blow. That's a great way to practice when you're out and about. Come back and experiment. Move the flute in and out, move it up and down. You never know quite where it needs to sit for you until you've experimented. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, if I roll this flute too far out, I can slowly adjust it and then figure out where that sweet spot is, that spot where I can finally get a sound. So put it under my chin. Not working. Okay, let me experiment. There it is. That's the sweet spot. So now I need to sit there and go, okay, can I do that again? So don't be afraid to experiment and continually pick up this head joint, play a couple of notes, blow a little bit through it until you get a sound. And then you'll know you're ready to move on to the next lesson when you can pick it up and go and get a clear sound every single time that you blow through this instrument. Now, one other thing to take note of is if you've got a peaked lip. Now, a peaked lip is where your top lip comes down into a little bit of an arrow point in the middle of your mouth. Now, if you have a peaked lip, you're not going to be able to center this directly in the middle of your mouth because your lip is going to disrupt the airflow. So what you might need to do is you might need to actually learn to blow out of the side of your mouth, left or right. Now, I don't have a peaked lip, but I will do my best to experiment and to show you what I'm talking about. So instead of having it directly in the middle, I might have to move it slightly to the left or right. can try the other way. Now just experiment to see where it feels most comfortable for you and where you can get the most consistent and clear sound. So that's for people with a peaked lip, which is the little bit of skin that comes down in the middle. So just to recap today's lesson, to learn how to do a sound, what you need to do is put the lip plate underneath on your chin, just under your lip. You need to pinch the left and right sides of your mouth. Make a little hole as if you're blowing through a straw, and then blow. There are different sounds that you can do. You can have your hand on the end. You can take it up. You can blow harder. And you can also put your finger in the end of the pipe. And if you've got a peaked lip, don't be afraid to blow out of the side of your mouth rather than the center, because that might work better for you. So please experiment, mess around with it a little bit, and once you get a really clear sound, then I would suggest moving on to the next lesson.